Watch King Charles jigs to Morecambe and Wise on surprise Northern Ireland visit. Greetings from royal family Lud my channel. On their unexpected two-day tour, the King and Queen made their first stop in Newtown Abbey, which is close to Belfast. The topiary, conical trees, and even the King danced as Bring Me Sunshine blared around the yard. Even though it wasn't your typical royal engagement to cut a ribbon, His Majesty seemed to enjoy himself. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. The King and Queen made their first combined trip outside of London since the coronation at Newtown Abbey, a town close to Belfast, on an unannounced two-day visit to Northern Ireland. A whimsical new coronation garden that was especially designed with the Queen in mind was formally unveiled by the newlyweds. It is defined as a floral tapestry with classical architecture style, planted in a pollinator-friendly and sustainable fashion to reflect some of the King's great passions, and created by award-winning gardener Diarmuid Gavin. An elaborate three-story pavilion with a spinning glitter ball and a crown at its middle, which the Queen remarked looked just like the one of Strictly Bubbles, rose into the air and floated. If that isn't bizarre enough, the dancing shrubbery in the garden occasionally dances to songs like Bring Me Sunshine by Morecambe and Wise and Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The Queen, who was dressed in a green Anna Valentine gown, chuckled with her husband and added, "I thought I was hallucinating when the trees started moving." Camilla stated as she examined the flower more closely, "I thought I was seeing things. Maybe there are two small leprechauns beneath there." The pair walked through the garden before facing the main structure after being serenaded by students and cutting the customary ribbon. The King waved to the crowd gathering below after reaching the peak. He sighed and gently leaned over the edge, slight anxiety, he admitted. The Queen, maybe sensibly, kept a few steps back. Later, she ruefully conceded, "It's a little dizzy at that end." Less than 3 weeks prior, when the pair waved enthusiastically from Buckingham Palace while wearing velvet robes and crowns, it was a far cry from their most recent balcony appearance. But when they continued with the task at hand, it was very much back to the day job. The song Bring Me Sunshine erupted throughout the lawn as the couple started to descend from the observation platform. The monarch smiled. He shared the stage with Morecambe and Wise in 1977 as part of a special royal charity show to benefit the Queen's Jubilee Appeal. Rumor has it that he was such a fan that he was even ready to appear in one of their shows before the notion was squashed by wary palace advisors. The royals were presented a custom-made coronation robe fashioned by local textile artist Angela Turkington and decorated with stitched squares made by 22 neighborhood elementary schools, where the coronation was a major focus elsewhere. The garden was shown to the royal guests by Mr. Gavin as he introduced them to the people who had toiled non-stop to create it. "They were fantastic," he claimed. "They were questioning me about the origins of the plants and the concept of the design as we walked through the peaceful garden with the dancing water, and they couldn't have been nicer. Sometimes in gardening we can be a little stiff, but I wanted to add a little magic," he continued. The King and the Queen were fantastic. They understood how silly and wonderful it was. The King assured me that Morecambe and Wise would have been thrilled to be involved. The garden was supposed to represent the start of a new green initiative for the Antrim and Newtown Abbey Borough Council. The King and Queen were informed. Even though Camilla acknowledged that the garden was not what she had anticipated, she still thought it was absolutely lovely. Lieutenant Colonel Johnny Thompson, the King's equerry who has developed something of a cult following on social media, received an equally enthusiastic welcome, saying, "Johnny, Johnny." To his discomfort and the amusement of the royal entourage, some of the audience yelled as they attempted to capture pictures of him. The couple continued on to Hillsborough Castle in County Down, where they ran upon local elementary school students who had entered a contest to build coronation benches. "Shall we try it out?" Before taking a seat, the King spoke. Camilla exclaimed, "It's wonderful," as she looked over the bench that was adorned with a sizable crown, scepter, and orb, as well as a floral and stag-themed environmental motif. "Did you all collaborate on it? How about the crown?" Prior to their attendance at a garden party and the planting of a tree to commemorate the coronation, Northern Ireland Secretary Chris Heaton-Harris hosted a brief private audience. Sir Geoffrey Donaldson, the leader of the DUP, attended the event. Michelle O'Neill, Deputy President of Sinn Féin, did not attend but stated that party members will be present at functions during the couple's two-day visit. Days after Elizabeth II's passing, in September 2022, the King and Queen made their final trip to the province as part of a tour of UK areas. The late Queen was witness to significant and historic changes in Northern Ireland during the years since she started her long career as a public servant, the King said in a statement of condolence after hearing from the Speaker of the Northern Ireland Assembly. She continued to pray during all of those years for this location and its residents, whose struggles our family had experienced and for whom she had a great deal of love and respect. She understood their tales.